Hi, I'm going to ask you a question that might make you go, ooh, be a bit uncomfortable. But if you do answer yes to you're still changing the loo roll in your company, metaphorically speaking, and perhaps literally, then it's worth watching this very, very short video training. My name's Stephen Bates. My company's Certain Change, and we are really good at helping people, leaders, business leaders, entrepreneurs, to get the most out of themselves and their team. So the question we ask, slightly tongue in cheek, is: are you the business leader, or are you still changing the toilet roll? Now, this is not a superiority thing. Sometimes people, and actually this can be the reason why people end up still changing the loo roll. It's not a superiority thing. I change the loo roll in my house because it needs to be done. What I'm talking about is it's a value and time thing. It's about working at the level you should be working at. And are you caught doing things that you should not be doing? It's below your pay grade. Because if you are not using your skills and time to the utmost level, then your business is not going to hit the results they should be. And I have conversations with clients like this all of the time, and they are getting kept stuck in the weeds, is my favorite expression. They're stuck in the weeds of lots of detail things that means that they are not able to think as a true business leader. And they're very frustrated, but for various reasons, and it all depends on the individual and the company setup and things like that, that they are not using their time and their value to the highest. It's also about leadership and leverage. Leverage is a word we love here over at Certain Change Land, because leverage is all about making sure that what you do creates the biggest leverage of the people that you employ, whether it's your own company or you are a senior manager, C-suite, or the CEO of any size company. You want to create leverage. So what you think, you say, your decisions create the most impact through the whole of the organization. And if you're just starting out with a team, it's really important to create this leverage as soon as you possibly can. Otherwise, you end up behaving like a worker still within the team, and you're not leading the company. You're not taking everybody else where they need to be, and they want to and need you to do that. So this happens for many, many reasons. But each of them comes down to this thing. Are you working below your pay grade? Are you being caught and distracted by actions, decisions that should be handled by somebody else? Because when you're the leader, when you're the top of either it's your company or the company you run, or you're a director at a senior level and you've got a lot of people in your part of the business, if you're being caught up in making decisions that really should be handled by somebody competent at a lower level, a different level, then you can't spend most of your time doing what you really should be doing at your level. So this is what it's about. So do you recognize any of these situations? Do you do too many tasks below your pay grade? Meaning your brain saying, why am I doing this? Now, it may be that you want to do them or you feel comfortable doing them. That can be one of the big issues. And often people say to me, it's easier for me to do this myself now than teach somebody else. I just need to get it done. And that happens a lot. Pressures of business, but also happens sometimes we don't want to let go of things. Sometimes we feel comfortable doing this. And this is all about being, a mental training and conditioning as being a worker as opposed to being a leader. And especially if you're stepping up from being a worker into a leader, sometimes that worker mentality of when we're told, this is what work is. And I have a whole other video on that. The definition of what work is for a leader compared to somebody as a worker. We're trained to do hours, we're trained to do tasks, we're trained to do things. Whereas a leader, you're trained, well, often you're not trained, but your job is to think, to have ideas, to set direction, to be an influencer, to someone who creates the opportunities what other people then execute for you. So are you doing too many tasks below your pay grade? Are you working too many hours? Because if you're working too many hours and it's affecting your family life and you're affecting your health and affecting just enjoyment of life, it's probably because you're not creating leverage through the rest of your people? Do you get involved in decisions that should be taken by a member of your team? Are you holding on to decisions, or do they keep pestering you with them? And you're just thinking, why am I keep having to be involved in these things? Is it that your staff don't take initiative? What's going on there? That's a very common one we deal with, because you may want them to take initiative, but for some reason they're not. And perhaps you can't leave work behind when you clock off. You can't go on holiday. You can't switch off at the weekend. So if you're doing any of those, it's probably there's a problem going on with how you are using your time and your value. And here's the thing about money and time. You can always make more money, but you can't create more time. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. As an individual, this statement is true. You as an individual, you can't create more time. You have 24 hours, and it depends how you use that time and what you do with the time, but you have 24 hours. But this is false as a business leader. As a business leader, you can create more time. And it is through doing what a skilled business leader should be doing, one of their primary things, which is creating more time to hit your objectives through the leveraging of the time, skills, the experience of a high functioning team. You can create buy-in and then make sure you lead and manage this team so you actually get more time. And that is what we mean by leverage. And if you are always looking for more time for you personally, then you're not leveraging your people enough. So this is leadership. This is managing them. So it's really, really important that you are being able to look at this. And it's so often I'm working with my clients, and it just hits them this. And they said, why am I working so many hours when I pay so many people and they've got all these other hours, but they're busy. And then that's when we start to get into understanding why they're stuck doing crazy hours and not leveraging their team enough. Because business leaders need time to think strategically. So I break it down into strategy, tactics, and operational tasks. And the more operational tasks you're into, the more you're below your pay grade. And often, like as I said, we don't want to give up these things. Sometimes we enjoy it. Sometimes it's where we feel most comfortable. But your job as a leader at any level is to think strategically and stay future focused. Your job is to lead your team effectively so they can implement operationally and tactically the things that you want them to do. And then as a business leader, you're to do your operational tasks that only you can do, where you excel. That's your worker work as opposed to leader work. So you'll still have those things only you can do because only you can do them at your level. But a lot of it is about thinking. And this makes a lot of leaders uncomfortable because it's like they almost feel guilty. They're not doing enough tasks. Whereas actually their job is to really make sure that everybody's tasks and tactics are working towards the goal. And if you're still changing the loo roll, you're not doing that. That's what that metaphor means. So you can work at your true level. You can work at your true level. So you need the right people to implement your plans. So it's you and having the right people who can do this. This is the important thing to create. This is what we help our clients do when they realize they're still changing the loo roll and they think, why am I still doing this? What is it that I'm doing that means I'm still doing it? And why am my team that I pay a lot of money for not picking up this stuff and doing it themselves? What's going on? Stephen, help. Let's have a chat. So otherwise you end up working below your pay grade and business results suffer as a result of that. And work-life balance and health, and you can't switch off and you can't relax when you go home, because if you are doing all these low-level tasks, it means somebody isn't, they're not paying attention to them, and it means that your brain's always going to be whirring and clicking, and even when you go home, when you should be spending time with your family or on holiday or with friends or just switching off. It won't switch off because nobody else is picking this stuff up because you're doing it. So, is the business getting the best of you right now? And are you getting the most out of your expensive team? 2 simple questions. The expression I use a lot is it time to get out of the weeds? To get you out of the weeds. And then perhaps other senior leaders in the company are in the weeds too. They should be people that are experienced and who can help you hit the directional tasks. When we're going this way, this is where we're taking the company. These are the goals we want. Their job is to organize what your goals are, but are they stuck in the weeds too? And my clients get to use this phrase a lot. Yeah, I got stuck in the weeds. And then we have a chat. We find out why that happened, why they allowed it to happen, why they wanted it to happen, which is the sneaky one. And then what to do about it, both for themselves and for the people that they manage, to make sure that they are coming up with them. So it's funny enough, everyone gets elevated when you do this. So, are you stuck in the weeds? It's easier than you think to get out of it. It is, truly it is. But everyone says, oh, I haven't got the time, I haven't got the resources, I haven't got this. But actually, it's not that difficult. It's just recognizing why it's happening and then organizing things to make sure it happens. And over a period of time, things get better and better and easier. Yet you still have to deal with, painful problems that appear out of nowhere. You think, why is this happening? And that's real life. We're not talking about utopia. What we're talking about really making sure that your leadership and your team's leadership means that you stay working at your highest level and everybody else can be working at the level they're meant to be working at. Funny enough, companies do better, life gets easier, and you get to go home knowing that people are paying attention to the things that are important to you. So if you want to talk about leverage, want to get out of the weeds, just get in touch. Let's have a conversation. We do it with people all of the time. It's easier than you think, but it does mean you have to just stop and go, yeah, this is what's happening. I'm fed up with it. So hopefully this has been useful to you. There's loads of ways of getting in touch with us. Don't delay is all I say. When we're working with people and they said, oh, we should have done this months ago, years ago. I got my life back, and funny enough, projects go better. People are happier. Less people leave because the situation is less stressful, because there's direction, there's goals, there's planning, there's execution, and funny enough, things run much more smoothly for everybody. It's a real win-win. So let me know what your problem is. If you're stuck in the weeds, book in a call. Let us know how, what's going on, and we'll show you how to get out of the weeds as fast as possible. Thanks for your time, and yeah, I hope to talk to you soon.